afternoon. My name is Scott Ruther, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead.
观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看今天的直击美股，我是主持人张叔，在纽约向您问好。周三美股涨跌互现，今天市场最为关注的就是美联储的一个会议决议，他们决定保持利率不变。但在此次的一个会议决议当中，我们会发现联储是比较鹰派的，因为他强调美国当前的经济状况比预期的要好，并且短期内影响美国经济的一些风险因素正在弱化。在今天我们同样是看到了一系列的公司公布了财报，像苹果今天是非常好的上涨，2年内最好的一天，而这也是抵消了包括像可口可乐在内公司财报不利的一些消极的因素。另外一方面，我们看到盘后脸书的股票正在上涨当中，相信明天会继续的去影响这个科技股的板块。在宏观经济方面，今天我们得到2个非常重要的数字，其中之一就是6月份的耐受商品订单是下跌了4%，而另外一方面，美国的房屋的销售数字在6月份的时候仅仅是上涨0.2%，也是比预期要小了一些。但总的来说，我们看到今天使得市场下降的主要的因素还是原油，因为今天原油是交易在$42左右的位置。虽然我们知道在$39的时候有一个重要的支撑位，但是上一个星期美国原油储备是意外上涨了170万桶，这也是使得今天原油下跌以及使大盘承压的重要原因。好的，更多的消息让我们来看一下今天的交易员访谈。Hi Scott, your stocks traded mixed today and we're still holding up in this upper range momentum. So do you think it's faulty or it's constructive actually?
No, it's wearing us out. You know, most indices after a blockbuster move, you want them to consolidate, but now some are going on a week, some are going on 2 weeks. Well, I guess through earnings season, it's a lot more stock specific. If you look here at the chart of the S&P cash, we're still above the 2-year range, okay? And we just broke above it, you know, a few weeks ago, and we haven't had much traction since. We're still absorbing the post-Brexit move from all the way down here. So that is giving a little bit of, you know, apprehension. Can we continue to go sideways here before breaking to new highs, or do we have to retest this area? So that's what most traders are trying to figure out. And at this point, you take a very close-up look here, and we've had very choppy action within this range, making it kind of difficult. But you know, here you are. I would say 2155 continues to be support. Sometimes after the Fed, you get some type of trend day. So we'll see if it's below this to the 21-day tomorrow, or if it's holding this and we break out to new weekly highs once again.
And until yesterday, we had this relatively low expectation for Apple, but the results turned out to be surprisingly good. And today it has a gap up, and also it traded like 7% higher. So does that mean Apple is back to the game?
Back in the game? Yeah. I would like it to be. Life's more fun when Apple's in the game. And we talked about what could happen. You know, does it gap down and reverse and get back in the game, or, you know, is it surprising? I thought the results were pretty good. You know, I was worried about this quarter, and the quarter was strong. You know, I think the next quarter or two is going to be even stronger. So I'm going to pay attention to Apple. You know, Apple last night after hours, I talked about buying it, which was a good purchase around 101. Why was I looking at 101? Because I wanted to see it clear this spot. Okay, so for today, it's not great that it didn't, you know, gap up and go, but it had a big move. So at this point, you have this downtrend right here, and I think hopefully it holds the majority of this gap. I think a lot of traders are going to be in it long verse 102.75. If it or not, if it winds up breaking below this 102.75, maybe you have to get out unless you're going to sit in it, because you never know how much of this gap gets filled. But this is your pivot support. We'll trade against that. Let's hope over time it goes sideways enough to then get above this, to then start acting better versus just a retest of this trend line that's been very frustrating over the course of the past year and a half.
Tech sector has been playing very well, and today after the closing bell, we got positive results from Facebook. And how will that help other momentum names such as Amazon and Google?
Well, we'll see how Facebook reacts tomorrow. If it gaps up $8 and sells down the entire day, maybe people will be not as excited about you know, good results from an Amazon or a Google. If it gaps up, you know, $7, $8, $9 and closes up 15, you know, that could add a little bit of spice. Okay, as far as Facebook now, you know, congratulations if you're a Facebook owner. You know, I talked about owning this thing, you know, as a long-term investor after this cup and handle down here. And if you're a long-term investor, look at this. You can make money in the stock market. Here's your cup and handle, broke out, boom, and look at this trend. So the market isn't rigged against you sometimes if you sit in something in your IRA. But anyway, as far as tomorrow is concerned, let's revisit tomorrow, okay? Some traders caught it quickly after hours because it was trading 122 and it got above this and hit as high as 130. So at this point, if you're not in it, I would just avoid it and we'll wait to see what type of gap happens tomorrow and then figure out if it pulls in and gets sold and sold into strength, or it holds and then maybe we get even more momentum.
On the other hand, oil continued to trade it down and dragging the market down. So, but we know we will have this big support above the $39 per barrel. So how do you think about, will we have these tradable points in a very short period of time?
Well, oil has probably been a reason why the S&P has been a little lethargic. So, we did talk about selling, 49 to 51. And now I think, below 43 or 42, there, like Annabelle said, there's big support 39. So, it's just dripping down, and there hasn't been, let's go to the U.S., so there hasn't really been any buy interest yet. If you sold when this trend broke here in the USO, which a lot of us did, okay, now the question is where does it go down to? It broke below this spot here, and now your next spot comes in a little bit lower. So it's something not to be enamored with, but it's something to be aware of.
好的，感谢您的收看，我们明天再见。